A review of what has been written about the concern of human subjectivity against the emerging technology reveals that the question of the technology affecting humans has not yet been asked. So now I ask, how does technology alienate humans from its own nature? To this, I answer that technology has no longer helped humans, but it is now dominating humans into its own nature. This present technological era has come to an extent where humans' thinking and behavior has been influenced by technology. I say this for the following reasons. First, some technology has already replaced humans from their work. What I meant to say is, there are jobs were supposedly intended for humans, but due to technology's efficiency, they were forced to be sacrificed. For example, when self-ordering kiosks exist in some restaurants and self-driving taxi was existing now in some country, there were crews and drivers who could no longer have their jobs. This means that technology seems to be more attractive and effective than the work of human hands. Therefore, the concern of this does not only lie in human labor, but also in how human sees their fellow human being. Second, a human being is composed of body and soul, which technology does not. In other words, this comparison can lead to the notion that humans already have the necessity by nature of being independent. For example, when a student tells his professor that he teaches so well, he is referring not just to his voice quality, inputs, and etc., but perhaps to the professor's way of teaching, the wisdom, or the teaching in general. What I mean to say is that those external attributes are just a substance, that a human being still exists even those attributes ceases. Therefore, human beings must be interpreted as incarnate subjectivity. And third, a human person has the special freedom that technology has not. In other words, humans can move freely on their own while technology relies on something that has controls. However, different kinds of freedom refer to their state in society. For example, a businessman's routine is more liberating compared to a worker who works at a specific time and kind of work. Yet, the differences does not reduce their essence. It remains intact. Therefore, the ability of man to make himself special and subject lies on their own. And the freedom of humans and rationality ceaselessly exist, not only in work but also in nature. For these reasons, I do believe that human person is a rational and transcendent being, distinct and irreplaceable from technology.